I'm the Independent Autistic, and today I want to suggest to you a cure for anxiety. The cure is to fill up all the mental space where anxiety is with faith. You've been told you're just an autistic, and unfortunately, you believed it. And repeated to yourself, I'm just an autistic. I can't. Please, stop doing that. It's hurting you. It's hurting you deeply. It's putting you in a prison house of limited potential. There is a better way. But before we get into it, smash the subscription button so you can discover day by day better ways of developing yourself into an independent autistic. Now let's talk about the better way to live. The better way is faith. Say to yourself, I can, I will. Say it to yourself today. Turn away from the salesman of fear and walk over to the salesman of faith and buy some faith. Now look, the salesman who is selling fear will give you 1,000,000,000,000 logical reasons why you should accept his fear, why you should buy it, and why you should live right there. But the bottom line is this: fear does not produce success. Faith produces success. Faith in your abilities to land a job. Faith in your abilities to help you learn how to drive a car. Faith in your abilities to help you live independently. Faith in your abilities to handle other people well. Faith that you are gifted and that giftedness, that autistic gift, is your key to greatness. Now, a little story here. A farmer had an ear of corn, and he was considering what to do with it. He thought maybe he would eat it, and that would be all the good it would do. Or he thought maybe he would plant it and hope to get a bigger harvest. What should the farmer do? The farmer decided to go to the marketplace of ideas and get some suggestions on what he should do. First, the farmer encountered the salesman of fear and asked him what he thought about the idea of planting. The salesman of fear was quick to offer reasons why planting was not good. First, if you plant, you won't be able to eat the corn. Second, if you plant, it probably won't grow anyway, and you'll lose all that you have. And third, if you plant, you will have to wait, and you will lose all the fun things that you will do right now because you planted something for the future. Then the salesman of fear started into his list of stories. Did you hear about Farmer Joe? And he planted and lost his crop. Did you hear about Farmer Pete? He planted, and he also lost his crop. And did you hear about Farmer Sam, who planted and also lost his crop? Did you hear about Farmer Pete, who planted and it did not rain and he lost his crop? You see, you just lose your crop. Just think about all the terrible things that could go on if you plant. There could be drought, there could be locusts, there could be disease. You could get sick and not be able to take care of the crop. Whatever you do, don't plant. Buy this fear that I'm selling. Think about it. Even the birds might come and eat your corn. Well, that argument on the surface sounded pretty convincing to the farmer, but he decided he would shop around a bit, and he turned away from the salesman of fear and walked down the street to the salesman of faith. He kind of put the salesman of faith on the spot. He said, look, the salesman of fear down there said that there are all these reasons why I shouldn't plant. Things that could go wrong. And I hear you're saying something differently. How in the world? The salesman of faith said, well, let's be realistic. And my friend, that is important. Most people think that when they are negative and when they are fearful, they are being realistic, but they are not. Now, the salesman of faith says, we do know from science that planted seeds do grow. That's a scientific fact. When corn seeds grow, they produce, depending on the species of the corn and how good the soil is, about 180 kernels of corn. Now, that's a pretty good return on investment. 1 for 180. And even if things go badly and you only get half, that's still 90 to 1. If you plant, the odds are heavily in your favor that you will reap a good harvest. That's just the math. But, says the farmer, what about the drought, flood, birds, and all the things that could possibly go wrong? Then said the wise salesman, but remember, these things are factored into the plan. We do not expect every kernel of corn to produce a full 180 grains. We know we will lose some to the birds and some to the floods and some to other things. But after all that is calculated in, we still get much more than we started with. He added, this is where the law of multiplying returns come in. If we plant this year 1 seed, and we only get half results and get 90 seeds. Next year we plant the 90 seeds, and again we fail half the time, and we only get half. That year, with only half return, we get 8,100 seeds. And again, if we take those seeds and only get a half return again, and we plant them at the normal ratio of 1 to 90, the next year we will get 729,000 seeds. So I suppose it's what you want in life. You can eat your 1 seed today by fear, or you can plant that seed with faith that it will grow. It will not likely bring 100%, but if it only brings 50, in a few years of growth, it will produce an immense harvest. You can have corn on the cob every night for a month if you plant by faith and wait for the harvest. The choice is yours. Now, before you say faith is being unrealistic, I want to point out that he's being very realistic. In fact, he may be being pessimistic. He's doing his math based on the idea that he's expecting to lose half the crop due to unfavorable circumstances. And even then, the benefits of planting are so great. It's interesting. In the highest paid profession in the world, which is sales, professional salesmen often only close 10% of the calls they make. 1 out of 10. They fail 90% of the time, and at the same time, because they keep acting in faith, even though they fail at a high ratio, they gain cruises and cars and diamonds and trips and become millionaires because they keep going by faith. If you talk to these people, you will discover that their focus is on the fact that every no is just one more on the pathway to the next yes. In the professional baseball world, it is the same. A good hitter hits around 300, which means 7 times out of 10 that he goes to the plate, he's going to come back without a hit. Then there's going to be 20,000 screaming fans saying not so nice things about the loser. But he also knows that 3 out of 10, he's going to get a hit. And he knows that's sufficient to make him millions of dollars and maybe land him in the Baseball Hall of Fame. I would suggest to you that really facing reality and really being a realist would force you to be a person of faith. So today, by faith that you can plant, by faith that you can be successful, by faith enough, hey, to subscribe to this channel so I can give you some words of faith and confidence to bring you one step closer to becoming an independent autistic. Now, before we go, just a note. I'm getting ready to start to release a series of profiles of extremely successful autistics. And I'm finding doing this that there are a lot of tips and tricks for success for us autistics to learn. Our path may not be the same as others to success, but there is definitely a path there. And you can be an independent autistic.